here again. Welcome to this video where I'll be doing a brief genetics recap. Now, each human individual has about 23 pairs of homologous chromosomes in each cell. Now, just in case you don't remember, a chromosome is basically DNA wrapped tightly by proteins. Now, in a chromosome pair, one chromosome comes from the mother, while the other chromosome comes from the father. So basically, you have the pair looking something like this. 1, 2. So one from mom, the other from dad. And this would be referred to as a homologous chromosome pair. Now, something really interesting about this homologous chromosome pairs. Now, homologous chromosomes basically contain the same genes in the same location or locus. Now, in genetics, we don't say location, we just basically say locus. Now, something also really interesting is homologous chromosomes are of the same size with the exception of the 23rd homologous XY pair in male humans. So you basically have structures like this, kind of similar sizes. However, in the XY chromosome, you basically have this and this. So they are not of the same size. Now let's take a hypothetical homologous chromosome pair and take a deeper look at different things there. Now, this homologous chromosome pair is going to be called homologous chromosome pair R. Now we have one coming from the mother and we have the other coming from the dad. So we have R1 from mom and we have R2 from dad. Now, in this homologous pair, we basically have genes. So we have gene here in the same location or locus. Let's refer to this location where these two genes are as locus A. Now let's say we have two other genes in the same location called locus B. And we have a third pair of genes in another location called locus C. Now, for the sake of this video, this is a hypothetical homologous chromosome pair, meaning basically this really doesn't exist in nature, but for the sake of explanation in this video, we are going to be using this. Now, let us assume that both genes in locus A in R1 and R2 both code for eye color. Now remember that these two genes make up a homologous chromosome pair. And just a brief recap, we basically have 23 homologous pairs in human individual. Now back to this diagram. Locus A contains genes that code for eye color. Locus B contains genes that code for, let's say, hair color, we have locus A coding for eye color, and then we have locus C, let's say skin color. But now this is the interesting thing. So let's say, for example, R1 mom is white or Caucasian and R2 dad is black from Africa, like myself. Now, since the mom is white or Caucasian, she's going to have, let's say, blonde, silky, straight hair, while the dad is going to have black, kinky hair, just like myself. Now let's come to hair color locus B. Now both genes in locus B code for hair color, but basically they would code for different colors of hair. Now things are getting a little bit interesting. Now these genes are the same, but they are different variants of the same gene. Now that brings us to an interesting concept in genetics called allele. Now basically an allele or alleles are different variants of the same gene. Now in the case of the hair color genes in locus B, we have two alleles coding for different hair colors. Does this make any sense at all? So pause this video, take a deep breath and digest everything I have said so far. So simply put, definition of allele would be different variant of same gene. I hope this makes sense. Now, just in case you didn't know, this is just an interesting fact. Allele comes from the Greek word allos, and that means similar to the other. Just a cool, interesting fact I think you should know. Now, since we've done this brief recap, now let's go to the crux of this video. Let's take a look at blood groups and the chromosomes where they are located. We're going to take a look at the different genotypes of the ABO blood groups we have and how we can group individuals accordingly. Now, the ABO blood group gene is located on chromosome 9. Now remember, we said in genetics the location of a chromosome or a gene, is referred to as locus. Now the locus location of this particular gene is 9q34. Interesting, right? I know. I love genetics too. Maybe a little bit. Not as much as... I love anatomy and physiology more. But anyways, let's go back to the video. Now remember, we said genes come in different variants. And those different variants of genes, so different variants of genes are alleles. Now the ABO gene has 3 different, very important alleles. And these are, just going to erase this real quick, get my pen out, A, B, and O. Now those are the three different variants of the ABO gene. However, post-conception, the developing embryo has one ABO allele, either A, B, or O, from the mom, the mother, or the father. Now, putting these two alleles side by side, we have something referred to as the genotype. Now let's do a little mathematics. Yeah, I know it's genetics. Sadly, we have to do some mathematics, but this will just be some really simple stuff. Now, let's do a little permutation and combination. Just combination, right? So we have three different alleles, but we need to combine them together to form the genotype. So if we have three different alleles and we have a mother and father, each donating either A, B, or O to this developing embryo, how many different forms of genotypes can we have? How many pair combinations can we have? So this is a little mathematics. Anyways, you are in luck. I know a little to get us through this little conundrum we've dug for ourselves. So I'm just going to erase all this so I have enough space here to draw. Perfect. So now let's draw this beautiful rectangle here. We have 1, 2, 3, and we also have 1, 2, 3. So we have A, B, O. We have A, B, O. Here we have AA. Here we have AB. Here we have AO. Here we have AB. Here we have BB. Here we have BO. Here we have AO. Here we have BO. Here we have OO. Now, although we have 9 combinations here, some are repeated. Now, when we count everything, we basically see we have how many? So pause this video and count and see if you get the answer correct. Now, if you've unpaused this video, the answer is, drum roll, 6. If you got 6, you are perfectly correct. Now let's write all the 6 different possible genotype variants out. So we have, you want to call it out, AA, call with me, AA, AO, participate, BB, BO, what else do we have? AB, and we also have OO. Perfect. So these are the 6 possible genotype combinations we can have. Things are getting really interesting. Now, like I said previously, each pair is referred to as, I know I'm repeating this, I just want to get this into your head, genotype. Now, phenotypically or physically in the body, we have, so just hold this thought, 4 different blood groups. And I'm just going to write those down. So, phenotypically, we have 4 different blood groups. we have, okay, call with me if you know this, A, we have B, we have AB, and we also have blood group O. Now, although we have 6 different genotype combinations, which are AA, AO, BB, BO, AB, and OO, which are basically 2 different alleles coming together to form this pair, we can only have 4 different blood groups. Now, if you take a look at AA and BB, for example, you might just assume really quickly that AA, individuals with the AA genotype, will belong to the A group, while individuals with the BB genotype would belong to the B group. Now, before we get into this, I'm just going to explain a little bit about the ABO blood group and what it means. Now, when an individual belongs to blood group A, that means you have the presence of A antigen where on the cell membrane of what? The red blood cells of that individual. Same thing goes for B. You have B antigen present on the cell membrane of red blood cells also. AB, if you can guess, has A and B antigens on the cell membrane of the red blood cells as well, while blood group O or blood group 0 has no antigen at all on the cell membrane of the red blood cells of those individuals. Now, antigens, just in case you didn't know, are proteins. So antigens are proteins, not carbohydrates, not fats, not lipids. Antigens are proteins. So this is a very important concept you need to know. Now, going back to our genotypes, I'm going to write them again. We can't escape them. We have AA, we have AO, BB, BO, AB, and OO. But we only have 4 different possible blood groups. Now, if you guessed AA, an individual with AA belongs to blood group A, I mentioned that previously, you are absolutely correct. So blood group A. Now, individuals with genotype BB belong to blood group B. No problem there. Now, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. What about individuals who have genotype AO and genotype BO? What blood groups do they belong to? Oh, I just erased my AB. I'm going to write that down. Thankfully, an individual called Mendel solved this issue for us several years ago, a very, very, very long time ago. Now, in genetics, we have a concept referred to as dominance. Now, in the case of this ABO blood group video, or the ABO blood group, whenever A or B alleles are paired with O, what happens? I'm just going to erase a little bit so I have space to write. Gonna link this here. A or B are always dominant over O. So whenever A or B alleles are paired with O, A or B are always dominant. Now, what does dominance mean? Now, dominance basically means that allele which is dominant. Just going to erase small. Would be expressed in that genotype pair. So we have AO, BO, and we have A and B. I'm just going to put those in red just because it's more fun. We have A and B being dominant. So individuals with genotype AO and BO would always belong to either blood group A in the case of AO or blood group B in the case of BO, because A and B are dominant over O. So physically or phenotypically, the expression would be A in the case of AO and B in the case of BO. So now we've taken care of the AO and BO issues. Now I'm just going to write this down so you can see this as I'm going through this video. So we're going to write the 6. I'm just going to keep on using red. We're going to write the 6 genotypes possible for blood groups. So we have AA, AO, BB, BO, AB, and OO. And we have the 4 blood groups, which are A, B, AB, and O. I'm just going to do it this way so it makes better sense. And we have OO. Now we've already discussed that individuals with genotype AA and AO belong to blood group A. Individuals with genotype BB and BO belong to blood group B. Now individuals with genotype AB, common sense, belong to blood group AB, and as you can tell, or as you would have guessed, individuals with genotype OO belong to blood group O. Finally, we've come to the end of this video. Now basically what I did was just do a brief genetics recap of the ABO blood group and how all that is derived. If you've enjoyed this video, that's beautiful, because I've also enjoyed making this video. Stay tuned or watch my other videos on this YouTube channel if you want, and see you in my other video, hopefully. Bye.